Well, Bitcoin price can hit $160,000 in October as MACD Golden Cross returns. This is a huge metric, guys. We are back here in the coin zone. It is Thursday, September 11th. Just before we get started here, guys, today's an important day in history in America. So, and everything that's happened yesterday, the vibes are a little off today. Okay. A lot going on right now. All of crypto Twitter seems to still be dealing with a lot as well. The timeline's a little weird today. There's a lot happening. There is a lot happening, guys. Yeah, I appreciate you for tapping in, though. We're going to try to keep it positive here. And what I have in store for you for this live stream is some pretty good stuff. We have a ton of different things to look at. Number one, this is from Cointelegraph. We're also going to take a look at something from a Cointelegraph member who is very bullish. So we're going to take a look at only very bullish things right now, guys. Try to get the vibes and the spirits a little higher than I'm seeing right now. All right. Obviously, today's an important day. Yesterday was an interesting day, but we have to move on. Well, we don't have to move on, but you know what I mean. We can't just sit still all day. So if we're going to do anything, we might as well be positive. I appreciate you guys for tapping in. Hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. Follow us on X. So let's get into it. Bitcoin price can hit 160K in October as MACD Golden Cross returns. This is a big deal, guys. The last time this happened, Bitcoin went cray-cray. That was low. You feel me? All right. Bitcoin went crazy, guys. So MACD repeats April Golden Cross. Bitcoin may perform worse in September than any other month on average, but this year could form a major exception. MACD, which compares price action across shorter and longer time frames using two simple moving averages, SMAs, has offered bulls a reason to celebrate. On Friday, the MACD line, a derivative of the SMAs, crossed above the signal line, which is a 9-period exponential moving average EMA, and the MACD line used for buy and sell signals. Now, this has positive implications for short-term price, but this latest cross is even more interesting. Why is that? Well, Bitcoin just had a MACD Golden Cross on the daily time frame, but this one is a bit different. Bitbull, all right, explained it this week. For the first time since April bottom, BTC had a MACD bullish cross below zero line. So negative MACD values reflect local downtrends, and the cross provides fresh fuel for a market rebound. And again, guys, the last time this happened, Bitcoin rallied 40% in a month and hit a new all-time high. So again, we'll take a look at the charts maybe later on coin. I almost said the coin zone. Shout out that Coinbase. Obviously, we'll take a look towards the end of the stream here. Appreciate you guys who just joined for tapping in. Let me know what you guys are looking at this week, I guess today. But again, guys, if you're just joining, it's been a rough week. Today's a big day. So we're just going to try to focus on positive things. Right now, the CPI numbers, right as expected. That's not a bad thing. It's not an amazing thing, but it's a good thing. So we actual 2.9% versus expected is 2.9% CPI, consumer price index. Core CPI is actually 3.1 versus expected, which was 3.1. So Jerome Powell, bud, you got a big decision to make, my guy. We'll see what happens there. All right. We're going to take a look at DZ now. Shout out to DZ and shout out to the Discover Crypto guys. DZ's always good at TA. Always has interesting charts to look at, and I think this is an interesting one right here. 3M US Treasury yield fell off a cliff this week. Yield has fall 0.33 since August 1st, slightly closer to 0.25 rate cut rather than 0.5. 3.75 is halfway mark. So if 3 million yield keep falling over the next week, 50 basis points cut is a high probability. Now, not even looking at charts, what is that probability? Well, guys, if we go over to Polymarket, as we normally look at sometimes, what price will Bitcoin hit in September? we have 23% of individuals saying 125K or above, and 52% saying above 120, 88% saying above 116. So what are we at right now? We're at 114. All right. Been a bit choppy this month. It has been a bit choppy this month. Did Coinbase update? Why does the chart look like this now? Yeah, I mean, we got up to 124 at some point this month. We're down 10K at the moment, down on the month 4%. And again, guys, we looked at this yesterday, but ETH is still up on the month, right? ETH is up 3% on the month. So today, alts are doing good. The market's doing good. But just going back to it, if we do get this move from Bitcoin to kick things off, and then Ethereum follows, I think all bets are off on what's going to happen. We have a lot of individuals right now predicting October to be a very bullish month. And at the same time, we're talking about rate cuts. We're talking about this and that. There's a culmination of plenty of different narratives coming together all at once right now. We have possibly 90 plus ETFs to be approved in October, adding fuel to the fire. This right here, we have 30-year fixed mortgage rates record a biggest drop in a year. It's from Watcher Guru. We're going to take a look at this article actually and read a little bit of it as well. So as we zoom in a little bit here, appreciate you guys tapping in if you're just joining. So 30-year fixed mortgage rates have reported their biggest drop in just over a year, according to a Freddie Mac statement. The average for a 30-year fixed loans was 6.35%, down from 6.5 last week. Meanwhile, the average 15-year fixed mortgage rate is now 5.55. Very nice. Love to see the charts here provided by Watcher Guru. The 30-year fixed rate mortgage fell 15 basis points from last week, the largest weekly drop in the past year. Yeah. Sam Cotter, Freddie Mac's chief economist, said in a release, mortgage rates are headed in the right direction and home buyers have noticed as purchase applications reached the highest year-over-year growth rate in more than 4 years. More than 4 years, guys. You don't think that's indicative of anything? Today's economic indicators of growing inflation mixed with rising jobless claims and shrinking treasury yields could put interest rates in a holding pattern in the near term. Yeah, and we do have individuals and institutions like JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon kind of issuing statements about if the Fed starts to cut rates over the next 6 months or so, the possible market volatility and possible downtrend that could bring about. We also know the uptrend it could bring about too. So depends on how you look at it. But I mean, there's a lot of data and info to get behind here, guys. There is just so much information. So this is basically it right here. All eyes are on Bitcoin right now. All eyes are on ETH. So again, guys, the last time we saw a golden cross like this was April. Yeah, Bitcoin gained over 40% in a month. It's very bullish, very big news. If you guys are out there looking at information like this, I think it's very important to understand how these things affect the markets and how these things affect, not just crypto, but commodities in general, which Bitcoin is a commodity, specific assets, how it affects the stock market, many markets, real estate. All these things are important, and all these things have to do with human nature and where cash flows. So if you create the right incentives and you put more money in people's pockets, what happens? Well, human nature tells us people put it somewhere. When we got stimmy checks 4+ years ago, a lot of people invested and a lot of people spent money, and it went right back to Jeff Bezos. Right? So human nature is something that we look at on this channel here. We look at a lot of charts on this channel. We're trying to give you guys the most accurate description of what is yet to come, just based off numbers, based off of graphs, and based off of data. So shout out to Discover Crypto. Always looking at a ton of different things. Shout out to DZ for this chart here. The 30-year fixed mortgage, biggest drop in a year. I think that is just adding on to this bullishness. There's a lot to go off here, guys. Some funny memes in the comments. Yeah. AVAX is trending. That's interesting. Whoops. Let's click on that. Let's see why AVAX is trending right now. My computer isn't stop bugging out on me. Very interesting. Robinhood is trending. We watched a stream yesterday of Vlad Tenev sitting with Jim Cramer. Shout out to Inverse Jim Cramer. I think Jim's starting to come around to this whole thing. It's been a long journey for bro. Yes, guys. 4 minutes ago. This is from Avalanche. What if cross-border payments were priced fairly instead of weighed down by broker fees? Fernando Martinez, CEO of Nonco OTC, explains how Avalanche powers low-cost real-time liquidity for emerging markets, cutting settlement from days to seconds using stablecoin rails. You know, we looked at some charts the other day. I forget who posted this, but there was a post. Man, I can try to go find this, but it was the top 5 RWA coins. And I don't think AVAX on that list, but this is, I think, subject to, it's very subjective. I would agree. Okay, so this is Lark Davis. This was a little over a month ago. That's not even RWA. I don't remember who this was from specifically, though. But there was a post. Ondo Finance always seems to be on this list. People want to put, you know, obviously I think Chainlink should be on that list. Avalanche could be on the list. Here we go. Crypto Rust, that's what I was looking at. Chainlink, Stellar, Ondo, Algorand, and Quant. That's according to CoinGecko. All right, so that's not Crypto Rust's opinion. It's not like a DGen's opinion. This is CoinGecko, guys. So according to CoinGecko, the top 5 RWA tokens for this cycle: Chainlink, Stellar, Ondo, Algorand, and Quant. Now, out of all these, I would say Quant has the least attention. Stellar has always been kind of tied to XRP, XLM, XRP, what they're doing with Swift, the ISO 20022. That angle has been there for a long time. However, most people don't know that Quant is also wrapped up with that. So if we're talking RWA, I think look into specifically what each project does. They don't all do the same things, I would say, maybe very similar, slightly something different, but each has an individual use case, and they all, I would say in some cases, could work hand in hand together. And, you know, something to point out, if you guys want to watch us on YouTube, if you haven't subbed yet, that's crazy. If you're sitting here watching with me right now, we have a brand new video out right now discussing what World Liberty Financial and Donald Trump is doing, pausing Justin's son's money. But again, guys, we have interviews coming out as well. So we have our Caspa Silver interview yesterday. Go watch that. Already at 1.7 views. But last week we had our Vijay interview. All right, another Caspa interview, 3.3K views. But I wanted to mention Vijay because if I'm just going to go back and we're going to look at this here, right? Crypto Russ, CoinGecko's top 5 RWA. The thing that I said to Vijay during this interview is he asked me if we got to talking about Caspa and Cardano, and he said, do you think that they compete with one another? And my response was, yes, absolutely. Everyone's competing for the same eyes right now. And it's not only retail eyes or institutional adoption. You need smart developers and people who know how to build and code, and engineers in these things, developers to help build a project. So you're not only competing with eyes in regards to retail, like you and I, or maybe with institutions, but you need someone to help build these products. And yes, they have a team. You know, some of these are legit companies with employees and stuff like that. But, you know, that's basically a centralized company with a product at that point, which is a little different than decentralization. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I think sometimes there is an advantage when you incentivize people to come to this space. It's just like Silicon Valley competition. People get poached from one company to go work at another all the time, simply because there's not enough talent in the world. Why do these areas exist? Why does Hollywood exist? Because it's one area that is the top of the food chain. If you're the best developer in the world, you're not going to be in a market that no one knows. You're going to be in the creme de la creme where it's happening. So if you're a sought after talent, you can get paid handsomely to help build some of these networks, or in crypto, you're basically offering up your services to help push this decentralized narrative forward by being incentivized to contribute to a chain. So that's not really the case with these RWA, but it is in a way, if you get what I'm saying. Maybe wasn't the best way to describe that, but it is what it is, guys. Chat, let me know in the comments, what would you add to this list? Obviously, AVAX is not on this list. Would I put AVAX on this list? I mean, they're doing a lot. We talked about what they're doing in New Jersey, putting billions of dollars of real estate on chain. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. But it's really interesting to see AVAX trending, because this isn't the first time this past couple months or so. AVAX has been kind of big. I feel like they've been making a lot of moves. Now, let's look at the chart, actually, real quick. Let's go down to Avalanche. Now, Avalanche, I feel like, has been around since, 2020? Let's see if I'm right about this. All time, 2020, yes, sir. Just about 5 years now. Okay, a little over 5 years now. Very nice. But look at what its peak was. So July-ish, 2020. So a little over a year later. Look at that growth, guys. We hit $123. We're currently at $29. It's a lot of opportunity in crypto right now. It's insane. If you pick the right chains, I think you're going to do handsomely nice over the next 6 to 12 months or so. And I firmly believe that. Now, look at this chart, guys. This is an all-time zoomed out chart. All of these moves that Avalanche is making, do you really think that they're going to stick around this price range forever? I don't think so. And I don't know how this stream turned up, into me just gassing up Avalanche, but I'm not shilling Avalanche in any metric, and this isn't ever financial advice, guys. Do your own research. But this is the things that we look at here in the channel. And what is Avalanche? Well, it's launched in September 2020. Like we said, Avalanche describes itself as an open, programmable smart contracts platform for decentralized applications. It aims to provide a higher transaction output of up to 4,500 transactions per second, while other blockchains such as Bitcoin claim around 7 TPS in 2023. But here's the big thing, guys. This is why Solana has so much attention. It's fast, more than 4,500 per second. Does it really matter if it's not decentralized and it goes down and half the metrics are fake and all this stuff? Does it really matter? In the long run, what's sad is it actually might, because people really don't even care. VCs don't care. Someone pitched to them, hey, this is the next big thing over Ethereum because it's faster, and their marketing did very well. And Charles Hoskinson just said a couple of days ago during the interview, so they messed up in 2020, 2021 with smart contracts, and Solana basically got all of that adoption. But at the end of the day, guys, if you zoom out, I mean, Solana's chart looks amazing. We all know Solana's performance, guys. The Solana hype is insane. If I know people who made money on Solana. I mean, look at this. And it did it again, too. It did it again, too. If you want to look at past performance when investing in something, that's what you have to do. You have to look at past performance. I'm not saying it's the end-all be-all metric to use if you're going to put your money somewhere, but it is important. And Solana looks insane, guys. I mean, we're sitting back above 200 right now. All-time high was 257. Insane, guys. Yeah, I think Solana has a bright future. Even though I'm not a big fan of the chain, I'm not going to sit here and be one of these tribalists in the crypto space. It's just so stupid and immature. I really like Solana's founder. I think he's a very smart guy, but it's just not for me. If you guys are in the Solana community, let us know in the comments. We just had a past video about Solana, about pump.fun. Unfortunately, there's two sides of the coin when it comes to pump.fun. Brought about a lot of adoption, and it democratized the way for anybody, any individual, to easily create a cryptocurrency. But what comes with that? it comes with 99%, 98%, 98% of all tokens launched on pump.fun were fraudulent. That's what happens. You get the Soldier Boy meme coins. You get Iggy Azalea coin. You get freaking Kanye coin. All of them are down. Charts look horrendous. You guys got to make wiser decisions in this space. Again, I like Solana, but unfortunately, a lot of this price action, a lot of their transactions, and there's a lot of the metrics on Solana. It's fake. It's literally fake, guys. Some of it is one wallet making up, I don't know, like 20 million transactions or something. That's a bot. It's not real, guys. If you want to learn more about this, there's a good account, Dave. I'm not trying to be biased here, but this is legit data. And this guy here, Dave, will go over it. All right. So check out Dave if you want to, if you are investing in Solana and you want to make sure that you're being safe and smart. However, I'm just saying, guys, I'm not hating on Solana. Look at this chart. Chart looks really amazing, but it's not for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. So back to it. AVAX is trending. Shout out to AVAX. Don't sleep. 4.47% APY. And that's just here on Coinbase. You could probably get higher elsewhere natively on AVAX. I'm sure it's higher. I think it was like 6% maybe in the past before. So I'm sure natively on the Avalanche blockchain, you can earn better rewards somewhere else. I'm sure Avalanche has their own lending, borrowing opportunities on that space as well. I haven't checked it out personally. You guys know here I'm deep into Cardano. That's the DeFi play that I interact with. However, I'm not hating on any of this other stuff, and I'm not married to anything. I'm a huge fan of Caspa, as you guys know. Chainlink is extremely important to me, but I'm more focused on these DeFi ecosystems that I can interact with. I think that's where the biggest opportunity is in crypto. Buying and holding is one thing, and that's the only thing I basically encourage. But once you get over that next leg up, you know, if you've been in this space for close to 5 years like I have, and like how a lot of other people have, and you might feel like you're knowledgeable enough and comfortable enough to go a leg further. For example, there's Hyperliquid. There's tons of opportunities to create longs and shorts and stuff like that. Now, again, on the stream, I'm not encouraging anybody to take leverage on their positions, especially if you're new to this space. Okay, but again, if this is how some people like James Wynn, for example, made their millions or billions. Life is about taking risks sometimes, guys. Again, I'm not telling you this isn't financial advice or anything like that, but Hyperliquid is one of the fastest growing blockchains for a reason, and they are extremely profitable. If you're going to look at another metric when it comes to some of these new projects, you have to look you got to look at revenue. Something could be a cool idea, but is it working? Are they sustaining the business, or is it not going well? Because it doesn't matter how cool it is. It doesn't matter how much you like it. If the, quote unquote business or the quote unquote network is not working, then it's going to fail. And you have to be honest about that. I feel like many people on getting into crypto, especially that I see during these almost bull cycles, we see all these retail investors come out of nowhere. The one thing that I'm seeing is that there's so much ignorance, guys. People expect everything to go to the moon, like immediately, with no repercussions, with no negative downtrends, with anything. And then they go and they take leverage on Poopcoin or freaking something ridiculous. That's not going to be here in 6 months. So if my advice to you guys would be, if you're just getting in, stick to top coins unless you've done an insane amount of research of anything else outside like the top 15 or something, top 20-ish maybe. But start with buying some Bitcoin and ETH or something. You can't go wrong. And clearly, if we look at the charts, even over mostly a lot of other things, guys. I mean, Bitcoin is still up over 100% on the year. Solana is not even up over 100% on the year. It's up 70%. Now, again, in 2 months, in 4 months, in 6 months, that could look way different. But if you zoom out, there's never been a better saving technology over a 15-year period than Bitcoin. Again, guys, I'm not saying Bitcoin is the end all be all, right? Because on another longer time frame similar to that, Ethereum or XRP or Solana or Cardano could have better returns over that time period. But so far, when it comes to preserving wealth, Bitcoin is Bitcoin for a reason, and altcoins are called altcoins for a reason, because they're not there yet. Some of them are for sure, yes, but you don't know if they're still going to be here in a couple of years or not, or you don't know if they're still going to be doing this well in a couple of years or not. What's funny is, why don't we do this? I am Googling the top 20 cryptos in 2020. Historical snapshot. You ready for this, guys? Look at this. 2020. Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Tether, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Chainlink, Cardano, Binance, Polkadot, Stellar, Bitcoin SV, EOS, Wrath Bitcoin. EOS has been like a billion different things, name changes, etc. Monero, NEM, completely gone now. Tron, moved up a little bit. Tezos, moved down a little bit. Crypto.com, now CRO, partnership with Donald Trump, big news. Filecoin. Filecoin had an insane, absolutely insane spike previously. And I think that's probably why it's still a little relevant. But I do think Filecoin has to figure some things out, because I don't think the chart is looking too good, to be honest, guys. I'm not pooping on Filecoin. If you guys are in that community, let me know. But what is going on with this? What you're telling me this is normal? Like, it's been around since 2017, guys. It's at $10 then. It's at $2 now. All-time high was 237. That looks insane. That looks great. But over a 8-year period, you're telling me we're at $2? Come on, guys. Something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that. But back to this. Which one of these coins are still here in the top 10? Well, Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, obviously. Litecoin, as we know, dropped down because plenty of other competitors entered the space. Bitcoin Cash, now not in the top 10. Polkadot, a lot of people are questioning Polkadot's future. I think they'll do all right. I think they're a well-built protocol. Stellar, hanging around somehow, even though XRP is basically gobbles up much of the attention. Bitcoin SV, not around anymore. EOS, gone. Wrapped Bitcoin, not nearly as big. Monero has a lot of issues, had a crazy network attack recently that people were suspecting could happen to Dogecoin as well. NEM, gone. Tron, moved up. That's the point, guys. You want to go back to... Yeah, why don't we just do this? Let's look at 2017. The infamous ICO. The ICO year, 2017. Very similar. But I want to just point something out. Two things, guys. IOTA, gone. Dash, not really around anymore. Gone. Same coins. Neo, gone. Qtum, BitConnect. We all know what happened with BitConnect. Insane rug. Yeah, look at these coins, guys. Well, what are half of these? All gone. These are all gone, guys. Now, if I guarantee you, if I looked at some of the price action on some of these in the past, it probably could have been nice, right? Probably could have made some money. But again, they're gone. They're gone. So look at the ones in the top 10 that I just showed you in 2017 and 2020. And now look at 2025. Which ones are still here? Cardano, Litecoin, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Bitcoin Cash still has a big use case. It's a very, very nice mineable coin. You can hit a solo block, earn an entire Bitcoin Cash very easily. Much, much, much easier than you can with Bitcoin. Obviously, it is a fork of Bitcoin, but these things actually have utility. And if there's a community behind it, it's not going anywhere. That's why Dogecoin is still here. That's why Dogecoin went from being not even around yet. What year is it? 2017? Yeah, if we go back to 2020 though, guys, Dogecoin's going to be in there, I believe, right? Oh my God, I hate when I click that by accident. All right, here we go. Where is Doji? It's not here yet. I don't even remember what year Doge came about. Pause. Let's look at Doge real quick. I thought Doge was a long time ago. Doge has been around for 10 years, right? What's going on here, guys? Doge has been around for a minute. 2015? Am I right? 2014. There you go. Didn't have utility or adoption. I mean, maybe not utility, but adoption for 7 years-ish. That's crazy. And maybe all because Elon Musk started talking about it. It's crazy, guys. The moral of the story is I'm trying to make sure that you guys understand what could possibly happen next month and getting yourself ready for it. Because again, if you're in the wrong coins, it's not going to matter much. And I want to see you guys win. So always take a look at historical snapshots. This is CoinMarketCap. If you guys have never done this before, it's kind of fun, but it's also very telling because again, this is 2020. We look at 2017. Look at these coins, guys. Which one of these do you not know? There's probably a decent amount on this you've never seen before because they're gone. It's the point I'm trying to drive home, guys. Everyone's different when it comes to their investment strategies and styles, but for me, I have a very, very long-term mindset. That's why Bitcoin is still my biggest holding. Because I know it's going to be here in 5 years. I can't say the same thing about, let's see. I don't know. I mean, Tron, everything Tron's been doing. I can't say the same thing maybe about Tezos or Filecoin or I like VeChain. Actually, I think VeChain is not really talked about that much, to be honest. Cosmos maybe. Cosmos is interesting. Their APY is insane. But again, it's just kind of failing to get that adoption. There's a lot of other very similar tokens, like kind of AVAX, for example, that's just getting more attention. Avi still around. Super slept on, in my opinion. Yeah. Super slept on, in my opinion. Down on the month too, so might be a good time to snag some. But that's it, guys. Back to it. More of the story. Things could start to shift here pretty soon in a positive direction. And if you guys are here, you know, for the tech, but also to maybe make a better life for yourself and make some coin, no pun intended, want to make sure you're in the right ones. So felt like you got value from this. I appreciate you for tapping in. This is the Coin Zone. I'm Crypto with Paul. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, guys. I will be back for another live stream here shortly. So tap back in when I tap in. Click on the link when it goes live. Appreciate you guys. Once again, this is the Coin Zone. I'll see you soon.